Okay, it's going to be 12:38 a.m. I don't think I did a recording. In fact, let me just check to see if I did. I think this is going to be the first one for today. Yep, that's the case. So I did have two trades here, and I'm going to be down on the day $2.90, two scratch trades, but I could have really made some serious money with trading RIVN. And let's just first go over BBBY since that was the setup I traded first. The first setup I had right here was an ascending triangle off of this resistance level 328 with the goal of it breaking above the resistance level and then, making a move towards VWAP. And then if it's really successful, maybe it can not just get to VWAP, but maybe like put up a higher low, right? And then continue the uptrend. And I did enter in this position ultimately, and this was at 949. So let's see if I can be able to get a chart that can show this without looking too ugly. I guess not. Let's just take a look at TD immediate trade because you can zoom in. I was essentially in it right here, and this was that level, that ascending triangle with that 228 level. I was in this setup at 949, and that was at 328. So 949 was right here, and 328 is when I entered. And I did sell a little bit. Just half of my position was when it wasn't looking too nice. I didn't like how I had like a wick and it broke above the range and then it went all the way back. And that was 2 minutes later at 951, which is when I sold a portion here at 329. And then I sold the rest once I broke the uptrending trend line that I had at 953. It didn't just break the down, not the down, but the uptrending trend line that I had. It also, I think, broke below this level that I consider to be like a significant risk level on top of the trend line breaking. And when I did that, I did get out of it and it continued to sell off. And this one just probably didn't work out because there isn't really much of a fundamental as to why it should reverse, at least compared to Rivian, which is the other trade I took. I think this is just running because it's like a meme play. It just doesn't have anything really significant other than maybe it can just squeeze a bunch of shorts. I just don't think, it's much of a stock that has enough fundamentals for it to really uptrend. But I still took the trade anyway, especially when it was looking like it was trying to work, and it didn't. And I think that was totally fine. And then this one just really stinks. This was a trade with Rivian, and this was a double bottom towards VWAP setup, and I was in at 10:01 at 17:28. So let me just zoom in. Just keep in mind this thing got as high as 19. So this one really pains me because I was in it right there, and that is just such a far away place from where it is now. I was talking about looking at a potential inverse head and shoulders. Unfortunately, this might be it. The shoulder, the head, and then we have like this gap down sell off, and this could maybe be the shoulder, and it made a super nice move that I wasn't able to be a part of, unfortunately. And this was not just a good short-term setup, but a longer-term setup that I could hold, or at least for the majority of the day. So maybe like a setup where I hold. Um, in theory, maybe for a swing trade, or in this case, since it's so aggressive the way it uptrended, I probably would have sold at the end of the day. But just going over the main part of it, which was just a short-term trade off of this double bottom. I was in, and this was on Schwab at 10:01 p.m. and this, no, not p.m., a.m. 40 shares at 17:34. So that was right around here when I entered. And the problem was is that this was a double bottom setup. You can see it had like a low right here, then maybe a higher low, but I would say in terms of the bottom of the candles, it looks more like a double bottom, even though it could be like a higher low if you count the wick right here. But essentially my risk level was this 1720 level breaking. And again, this was 958 where it touched it, but I was in at 10:01. And essentially what the problem was is that I just had this trend line and it doesn't really show anymore because I took a screenshot of the trade a bit later in the day, but I had like a trend line right here. So when it broke this uptrending trend line that I had, I got out of the trade the next minute, it seems like at 10:02. So I was in it right here at 10:01. And then when it was selling off and breaking that line, you can see I sold into this wick here at 10:02. So the problem was is that I just had the wrong freaking risk level. It should have been the range low. And you know, this might be where something you know, you can say, oh, this was just a hindsight 2020. No, that's not true. I've learned is not all setups that have a dip is just going to immediately reverse. Sometimes they put up like a baby high or low, which was the case right here off of this level. And the goal was it to get to VWAP, and in this case, it got above VWAP. Man, this one pains me. Let's just see what a sell would have been if maybe I sold like a portion at VWAP, and then the other half, once it breaks the uptrending trend line that I would have likely have drawn, at least if I'm trading properly, maybe something like this. Not an exact science. I might have cut it maybe around here, or if I waited for it to open and close under the trend line, this would have been the sell perhaps right here. Let's see what would have happened if I sold some at VWAP right here at 1742 and then the rest at 1745. So I guess it's the same level actually, because this thing was possible. All right. Yeah, that was pretty nice in terms of, you know, profitability. It worked out. And then the longer term idea of that inverse head and shoulders really played out right here. And it was so strong and it continued the uptrend. And yeah, this was something where even, you know, once you let it trade for a moment and it's able to now trade above VWAP, you can draw like a trend line like this. And then that would have been a sell, I guess, towards the end of the day after hours. Super profitable. That's why it took so long to make this video, because I wasn't really too happy with it. But that's just part of trading. I guess it's just learning mistakes, and at least I didn't like lose a whole bunch of money. So yeah, that was it. One setup here that I tried, it didn't work out, which was fine, but this one had a lot more of a reason for it to turn around, just because of the fact that the momentum is looking a bit different. It sold off for a long time. It had a bunch of short sellers jumping on top of each other, and it's been putting up this inverse head and shoulder. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Ideally, I can do better the next day, tomorrow, or I guess later today. Yeah, one setup that didn't work, and then this one I didn't use the risk level properly. This should have been something where I could have risked maybe the bottom of this range or even the day low. Ah, that stinks, but yeah, that's it for today. That's all I have. Definitely could get better in that sense and not be so scared and assume that, you know, every dip buy is just going to right then and there uptrend. Sometimes they do little baby higher lows, and yeah, this price action is something I've seen before where it just has this weird, super weird curving action. If I can find where my freaking mouse is. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just a really weird price action. I've seen that happen a few times and it works. Plenty of support right there.